Hi everyone and welcome to the Italian Grand Prix. It's Virtual Racing Championship's latest edition here at Monza's circuit, one of the most iconic circuits on the F1 calendar, and we have 16 drivers here this evening, all racing and vying for pole position. We have got a single Ferrari car in pit mat as Mick Leclerc is unable to attend this evening. Cherry Tupai and Best Bob, two early DNFs in the session, so we'll keep an eye on what's happening with them two. But we've got ourselves a very positive and exciting Grand Prix ahead of us this evening. Epic Gamer is the man who's on top spot at the moment. He is on a 1 minute 18.7. Experts in second with a 19.3, with Clarkey rounding out third place as things currently stand. We'll keep an eye on the fastest lap. Tyre wise, most guys are on the super softs apart from two guys who've decided to go onto the yellow walled soft compound tyres at this early stage. We'll keep a close eye on a few guys. I'm not sure if anyone is on a flying lap. We've got Ollie Flavel, formerly TTG Ollie, until he was no longer with the TTG esports team. We'll keep an eye on Ollie Flavel. Anyone going near him? Onyx, I think, could be on a lap here. Let's keep a close eye on Onyx. He comes through the second set of chicane just before coming through Lesmos. That's going to be an interesting set of corners. There's going to be some good overtaking opportunities around here. Not entirely sure the amount of laps and overtaking opportunities that can be had around here, but through Lesmo 1, let's see what he's able to do. Nice line, to be fair. He's taking it quite calmly, quite coolly as he comes through the back straight heading into Ascari. So yeah, it should be a nice clean lap so far from Onyx, and he's making his way through now. Lovely camera angles. We'll cut on board with him as he heads into Ascari. Just braking after the 100 metre board, shifts it left and right. Yellow flags in sector 1 will be a backtrack of cars. He's gone wide there, and that will more than likely be an invalidated lap for him. If not, then it's probably lost him a little bit of time as he didn't look too clean. He's got a car ahead of him which looks like a Ferrari off pit mat. Yellow, in fact, it was a slow moving. I think it was Ollie Flavel, in fact, who was going really slow. Pit mat was the car ahead of him coming into the pit. So too is Onyx. Nico on his debut in the Williams. He's coming down the long back straight as he comes through Parabolica, long uphill style section, blindsided for most of it, and then you see the back straight. It's a nice, cool, calm section of corners. He makes his way across the line as he now starts up a lap on the soft compound tyres. Just sorting out a few things. I do apologise if it does sound like I'm pausing at any point, but we will just keep a close eye on things as they currently stand. Apologies for this, just doing something quickly in regards to social media. There we go. Making sure everyone is able to watch us live. Apologies. There we go. So yes, it is Nico we're on board with. He's taken the whole lap so well, quite nicely. And so far going along quite a Ascari chicane. Let's see what he's able to do. He's going to shift it left and right here, right on board as he heads through here. Coolly does it, just gliding on them curbs. Don't want to take too much speed. Exit, just riding the curb slightly onto the AstroTurf to maximise your exit out of Ascari turn 8, 9 and 10. So yeah, nice cool section. You've got some iconic corners, of course. You've got the Curva Grande down at turn 3, the Lesmos and Parabolica, of course. Some great iconic corners around this track, a high-speed circuit. Expert is in second, but Nico has slotted himself into P3 on the soft compound tyre. A few guys to so far. Eagle Killer and Tim Palmer, two of them. Here comes Eagle Killer. He's coming across the line. Let's see where he's able to go up to. Is he started a lap or just finishing? He's finishing, and he's 2 tenths down on Epic Gamer as things stand. Stunting down now to Tim Palm, his teammate. He's going to come through Parabolica now. Let's see what he's able to do. Heading uphill, you just see the line getting closer and closer, ramping it up into 8th gear. He moves up into P6. So not a great time from Tim Palm or Deagle Killer there. It's a 2 and 6 for the Red Bull guys who were involved in a good little scrap last week with the likes of Francis. And that from Tim Palm is very dangerous driving, and that might have to be looked at. We'll quickly have to save that because I'm not sure if people, that's not ideal from Tim Palm there. And he's now cutting the corners as well. Not the most sportsman thing ever. A couple of the 100 metre, notice the brake marker boards there have both been destroyed and deleted, you could say. They're completely gone. So some of the brake marker boards are no longer with us. RIP to them poor buggers. Onyx is coming across the line, but he's coming into the pits as well. Anyone else out on a lap? Epic Gamer looks to be ramping up for one now. We're going to ride on board with a whole lap with him. We'll come through the final corner now. Watch him come up the parabolica as we're going to ramp through this lovely camera angle. We'll cut past, there he goes, into the distance, and we'll start a lap here with Epic Gamer as he comes down the start-finish straight into turn 1. He's got to get himself set up nicely as he brakes. Oh no, in fact, he's just finished a lap, sorry. So Epic Gamer finishing a lap there, so it looked clean, and it was. Beautiful lap from him. Expert is promoting himself up into P2 at the moment, coming through Ascari, opening up that nicely. Very wide though, a lot of the guys going quite wide. Just over 8 minutes to go. Clarkey's on an out lap, so too is Pit Matt. I think he may have just started on Pit Matt, so we're going to ride on board with him as he comes through the long, beautiful sweeping right-hander of turn 3, also known as Curva Grande, as he brakes sharply into turns 4 and 5 down at the chicane. Once you just open it up a little bit, if you lose that rear end, it can hinder you for the entire lap, and that's not what you want. You want to keep it nice and cool as you come through Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2, as you're going to come down Curva del Seligino, also known as one of the 2 back straights, heading down into Ascari. Turns 8, 9 and 10, Ascari, named after the legendary driver. Going to be quickly on the left hand, just brake just before the 50-metre board. You shift it in leftwards, open up the corner, high speed, exit, maximising it. It's a very quick lap round here, just over a minute long. It feels like it goes very, very quickly. There's no real time to be gained, but if you can hook it up perfectly, it's an absolutely flawless lap. He comes through the final corner here at Parabolica, opens it up as possible, the shortest possible, promotes himself up to the head of Tim Palm, Clarkey, Apex and Casper. So, evening for Ferrari guy, he wants to get a bit higher than that. Podium would be ideal for him, but there's a few guys who could still take him off that top spot. Expert is just coming out of the pits. Deal Killer is on an out lap. We're getting the last few batch of drivers here this afternoon, ahead of what promises to be a very exciting and interesting qualifying session. I'm not too sure the best guy to look at. I reckon Deagle Killer could well be the man we keep a close eye on, as a lot of guys are going to be coming in for a lap soon. Deagle Killer has got Pit Matt just ahead of him at the current moment. Him up a little bit, or he could give him a toe going down the start-finish straight. I'm not too sure. Looks like that's what Deagle Killer's trying to do. Maybe just stick behind Pit Matt, knows he's coming into the pits, and just going to try and take full advantage of the current pace that the guys are able to do. We'll just keep a close eye as well on the telemetry of Deagle Killer to see what he's able to do. You can see, look at the max revs that he's got on. He's going to try and max it up. ERS will be fully open. He shifts down into 4th gear, coming through the final corner. And let's see what he's able to do as he ramps up for a lap here at the Monza circuit, one of the most iconic circuits on the Formula 1 calendar. We've rode on board with a few guys, but this could well be a pole position time, as he's going to come down into turns 1 and 2 of this opening chicane. It's a long start finish straight. He's going to brake sharply just around about the 100-metre balk, opens up the corner, he went along to it and open the exit of the car nice and early. The chassis will be feeling every single inch as you head down, and open up that right hand. As he does, then you want to open it up just slightly, but he's not done that. You want to open it up and make it as nice and clean as possible, but it feels like he was hugging that a little bit too tight. What do I know, as he takes through turn 4 and 5, a lovely section of corners. Here come the 2 Lesmos, blindsided for the 90 degree. As you come through the second one, just at the 50-metre board, you then go downhill as it dips under. He's just clipped the gravel, which is going to lose him a little bit of time. Not a clean lap here from Deagle Killer at the moment. He could be on for a good lap time, but it looks like it's going to be a tough question to ask if he wants to be Epic Gamer as he comes into Ascari now. Let's see what he does. He rides the curb very much on the limit, and it does look a bit of a scruffy lap. His cornering hasn't been great here. Cutting a few of them, and the extensions haven't been ideal. Only used 50% of his ERS now. With gear maxing out about 208 miles per hour, just going to come through the final parabolica, and he looks like he's not on the cleanest of laps, and he's shifted down and coming into the pits. He is, so it wasn't a clean lap from Deagle Killer. Here comes Epic Gamer. Is he about to start a lap? I think he is. Let's see what Epic Gamer is able to do. He's now starting a lap and we'll keep a close eye on him in the Haas car as he's head down this beautiful section of corner into turns 1 and 2 now. Just behind him is the Renault of, I believe that's Expert, so it's very close between the front two at the moment. Let's see how Epic Gamer does it as he comes through Curva Grande. How is he hugging it? Because it was a very tight, narrow line from the Eagle Killer. Let's see how Epic Gamer does it. So he takes it nice and narrow, and then he just opens it up. You see there, he opens it up and he doesn't take it too shallow. The more shallow and the more tight you take that line, the more you're taking out the car. You just want to glide into it, open up the corner nicely and brake smoothly. It puts less pressure on the tyres and actually can gain you quite a lot of time. A little lock up with Epic Gamer there as he comes through turns 4 and 5 as he opens up the second Lesbo nicely early on the power, upshifting into 7th. Now let's see where he maxes out. He's using his RS effectively, and it looks like, yeah, he's got 10 times. Look at the miles per hour he's getting to compared to what the Eagle Killer was at. So he's definitely at a much comfortable, much pacier level, but he is really struggling through Ascari there. He's held onto the car, but it could well be an invalidated lap. Now let's see where he maxes out. He's going to rev it all the way up, and you can see it is quite a difficult section of corner there, so he's not really maxing too high. I wonder if he's backed out and decided to come into the pits here, Epic Game. It wouldn't surprise me because it was a scruffy Ascari, it was, and he's come into the pit lane. I'd imagine there's Expert coming in as well. Anybody else coming into the pits? Clarky is on an outlap, so too is Apex. I think Apex could be close to starting a lap in the Haas car with the gold and black helmet. Right, some lovely camera angles. Look at that. Absolutely stunning as he heads down into Ascari. He takes it quite nicely at the moment. But we'll quickly run you through while we got this little blip and this little moment to take in the scenery here at Monza. On board, also riding on a third person, getting camera angles of the Sauber. We'll quickly run you through the championship standings as it currently is as they start come to the end here of qualifying. So is Eagle Killer still championship leader as things currently stand from the H Eagle in second. Dom is in third, but he has had to leave the league due to personal reasons, but he is third in the championship with Ollie D in 4th place. Tim Palm is in 5th at the moment with Dan Daniel in 6th. Epic Gamer is in 7th. 8th is Pitmat. 9th is Super Guy NL. 10th is Cherry 2 Pie. 11th is Marquise. 12th is Francis. 13th is Expert. Casper 14th. Cliffy in 15th. TTG Ollie is in 16th. 17th is Floris. Mark is in 18th. 19th is Onyx. 20th is Best Bob, Leclerc and Apex, who are all on 0 points at the very back of the grid. And there is a car that's very, very close to the behind of that Sauber, and that looks to be the Williams of Nico, which it is. So he's going to have to back off slightly and try and create some pacing and a bit of a gap for himself. As currently stand, Onyx and Dan Daniel are the only two guys left on track who have yet to set a time, with Cherry Pie, Ollie Fapple and Best Bob all abandoning their cars and DNFing early here in this qualifying session. Yellow flags 3 are out, and that looks to be a very slow moving car. I wonder if we can sort of who that is. He's slowing down to let the guys near him go by. Apex is going to come across the line. Let's see where he goes. He promotes himself up into P5, an impressive time from him. Next will be Nico. Deagle Killer has got himself, no, it wasn't Deagle Killer, it was Onyx, sorry, up into P4. Deagle Killer is coming across the line now to start a lap. Pitmat will be quite close behind him. He'll be one of the last guys to come across the line. There's the H Eagle. Was he going to set a lap? Oh yes, he has. I believe he has gone onto the soft compound tyres. So Eagle has improved on them softer compound tyres. Into the pits comes Clarky. Anyone else close to a lap? Epic Gamer is coming through the final corner now. He's going to come across the line. He'll have a little bit of spare time as he starts his lap. He'll be one of the last guys. Expert as well is hunting him down with that DRS, and this is going to be an interesting one to keep a close eye on. I think these two are going to be the line. Expert is going to try and take full advantage of that slipstream and DRS he's picked up from the Haas. It's an interesting technique here from Will. It's going to give him a bit of dirty air through the corners, but he might be able to gain enough drag as he heads down the start-finish straight. Two of which are DRS zones. Let's see what he does here through 4 and 5 under braking. He is sticking with the Epic Gamer, who's gone quite wide, but there you see Expert has struggled quite a little bit. We'll keep an eye, because this could be a little hint of how the racing could go if Expert can use this tactic nicely. If Epic Gamer is on an improvement, which I think he might just be, it looks a little bit like Expert is falling behind, but if he gains enough down and back straights, how much he's gaining here as they through to Ascari. DRS wide open for the pair of them, braking nice and early. Let's see how he opens up this corner. The dirty air could hinder him just a little bit much. Dan Daniel is up into P3 at the moment. Deal Killer has retired from the session. We'll keep an eye on what these two guys are able to do. Both of them in shot there. Just moving to the right hand side. To the right hand side there was Lucas. He's going to come across the line first. We'll keep an eye on Lucas, see where he's able to do. Does he improve? He does improve. Expert also improves, but he's 2/10 slower than Epic Gamer, and Epic Gamer has secured himself pole position. Expert's tactic there has not worked out for the best of him, so it is the Haas driver of Epic Gamer. Lucas has taken top spot here in cockpit cam. Classy performance. He takes pole position from Expert. Dan Daniel in a surprising third. Onyx will be fourth with Deagle Killer in fifth. Apex will be in sixth. Nico will be seventh. Tim Palm eighth. Clarkey in ninth. H Eagle 10th. Pitmat will be 11th with Casper 12th, with Cliffy sitting 1 minute 24 will be allowed to race as he's reached that perfect time. Just, you know, no rules here. We'll allow him even though it wasn't the greatest of time. Obviously DNFing early in the session with 3 guys yet to set times because of, I believe, crashes for 2 of them. Best Bob crashed, Cherry 2 Pie I believe also crashed, and Onyx, no it wasn't Onyx, it was, I can't remember last guy, it was Ollie Flavel who DNF'd the other Force India. So it is Epic Gamer 1 minute 18.445 from Expert in second. It's an English front row. It's Dan Daniel in third, making that Haas 1-2. Onyx in fourth, Deagle Killer in fifth, Apex sixth, Nico seventh, Tim Palm eighth, Clarkey ninth, with 10th being the H Eagle on soft compound tyres. Pitmat in 11th, not doing the Tifosi 2 Pro at the moment, with Casper the leading Toro Rosso in 12th. Cliffy in 13th will be not too pleased to see his teammate that high up, with Cherry 2 Pie, Ollie Flavel and Best Bob all starting on a fresh set of tyres after DNFing earlier on in this qualifying session. So leave in the comments below your predictions on who you think we should keep a close eye on for this Grand Prix. It's bright and sunny here in Italy's fine circuit of Monza, just a few miles away from the heart of Milan, home of some historic sports itself. Of course, the 2 football establishments both playing at the San Siro, but all eyes will be on the Formula 1 circuit and the Ferrari driver of Pitmat this afternoon here at Monza. Formation lap about to get underway. Epic Gamer will lead us here at Monza. Hopefully for his sake he can get a nice clean run. He had a great race last time out, didn't qualify on pole, but still was very much in a dominant position. And we'll take a quick look at the tyre choices. So the entirety of the top 9 all qualified on super softs, with Clarkey qualifying on the soft compound tyres. You then have Pitmat, Casper, Cherry 2 Pie and Best Bob all starting on the medium compound tyres, with Cliffy and Ollie Flavel deciding to go onto the soft compound tyres with this afternoon. So it's been interesting to see what they're able to do. We'll keep throughout the field. Lucas is not really slowing the pack down. He's not trying to take this formation lap nice and cool and calmly. He wants to get it done and dusted, get the heat into these tyres and get proceedings nice and underway early for us. A few leaves flapping about. It looks to be quite a windy afternoon there, which could throw a little spanner in the works for a few of these drivers. We'll keep an eye on what they're able to do. There's no predictions of rain here today. Man to keep an eye on as well is Deagle Killer. He could extend his championship lead and go one step closer to being crowned the VRC champion of the world, and it'd be the first champion of course for the Virtual Racing Championship. Also Pitmat and the Ferrari will have all eyes on him as he makes his way through the Monza circuit. Can he get anywhere? Can he get a podium? He's on the mediums. He's the highest running medium runner, so keep a close eye on him. If he can pull off the strategy, it could well be an interesting afternoon for the Tifosi driver. Casper, ILRT, Cliffy, both very competitive drivers, could make their way through. Cherry 2 Pie and Best Bob love an incident. They love a little crash, and there's a prime example of that. Cherry 2 Pie crashing out and Best Bob getting himself disqualified. I mentioned how both of them love a little crash, and that could be a bit of an issue if we'll keep an eye on them two later on in this Grand Prix. So there he is, Epic Gamer, the pole sitter. The Brits are locking out the front row. Who's going to make the headlines here in Italy? It's the Monza circuit. It's the Italian Grand Prix. It's Virtual Racing Championship, and we're 5 red lights away from action. Out and away we go. The Haas driver looking like he got a good start there, and he has done it. He's now going to have to defend from the guys behind him. Exprit is struggling a little bit there. He's got a few guys swarming him as he heads down into turn 1. Who's going to get the best run? It looks like Epic Gamer's got it done from Dan Daniel. He has done. Onyx as well has had a nice tidy little start, just slotting in there, and he's hunting down Dan Daniel at the moment. Let's see if Dan Daniel can defend here. The Haas driver is Ferrari powered. It's Ferrari versus Mercedes, and not the way you'd normally expect. Up the inside goes the Force India, thinks better of it, and Dan Daniel defends against him nicely there. And the Williams of Nico has spun around going out the exit of turn 5, and there's also another crash further down. Oh no, that was Nico rejoining the track there. Apologies for that. Cherry 2 Pie has got past Best Bob. They're all starting to filter their way through the Lesmo. Ollie Flavel's got past 2 of them. Casper is onto the rear end of pit mat, and there is dust flying, and that is Dan Daniel who has gone off there on the exit of Lesmo number 2. He's now being hunted and overtaken by Pit Mat and Casper. Casper's looking keen on Pit Mat. Is he going to get the manoeuvre done? Dan Daniel looking at Casper, thinks better of it, and slots himself into that 12th place. Dan Daniel. Pit Mat's made a mistake, and Casper has got past him, and Pit Mat is under some serious threat here. Look at the cars swarming him. Cherry 2 Pie is getting a lovely visual of Pit Mat being absolutely destroyed as he comes down this back straight, coming into the final corner. Epic Gamer says the fastest lap. Ollie Flavel's gone a little bit wide. Pit Mat's got a great run, but they're all going to slipstream. Casper cuts across to get the slipstream of Dan Daniel. Dan Daniel will be in a little bit of a good position here, but they're all going to start to come swarming at him. They're all chopping and changing places as they head down into turn 1. Who's going to get the good run here? Pit Mat up the inside of the Force India, just forcing him a little bit wide. It will turn to the inside line. The Toro Rosso Casper is just clipped the Force India, but he's now up the inside of him. Pit Mat done very well to get past him there, and it looks like Dan Daniel's has got away with it. Cherry 2 Pie will be seeing these two squabbling as he looks ahead. You can just see the Toro Rosso and the Force India going side by side, and Casper's got the place done, but this is definitely far from over. Further up the field, Tim Palm is stuck behind Clarkey, with Apex also up there doing a very good job. The Eagle Killer is onto the rear end of Onyx. Look at the gap between Onyx and Exprit. 2.4 seconds separate the two of them, so the Eagle Killer need to get past him here if he wants to try and chase down 4. As things stand, Onyx looking a little shaky at the exit there. Eagle Killer getting a much better return out of Ascari. Let's see how he's able to do. He ramps it up now. He's going to come through. Let's see what he's able to do side by side. Who's going to get the best run here? Looks like the Force India might just be able to defend against him, but if Eagle Killer has maximum traction, which he's showing he might just have, he's going to hang it around the outside. An absolutely sensational manoeuvre from Eagle Killer, but he could well be under threat here from Onyx, who's going to have slipstream available to him. He's taking the inside line. He's going to have to go off that track, off that runoff area onto the white lines. The inside line can be crucial here if you get a good braking zone. He's done that. It's a lovely bit of braking from the Force India, and he's got the place done nice and easy, and he's back past Eagle Killer just as it was 1 lap ago. Lap 3 of 27. It's Epic Gamer from Expert and Onyx, but I think we could be having a little squabble between the Red Bull and the Force India once again. Here comes Onyx defending Eagle Killer. Eagle Killer going to go later on the brakes. No, he does not. He thinks better of it, and this is starting to form a little bit of a train at this current moment in time. Epic Gamer does have Expert on his rear end to keep a close eye on. Further down the field, Tim Palm and Clarkey are very much close, and it's starting to form a very minor little train as things currently stand, keeping it nice and close, keeping it keen between the two of them. Let's see what they're able to do. Clarkey is at the moment doing a very solid job up there. Eagle Killer has got past Onyx. Looked like it was very late on the break there from Onyx, but he's just had to slot in behind Eagle Killer. But if he gets a good enough run, oh, it looks like he hasn't got it out of Ascari. Let's see what he's able to do though with DRS and Slipstream. If he's got that car set up for straight line speed, he could get a nice little run on the Dutchman here. Brakes later, takes the cornering nicely, opens it up. Let's see what he's able to do. Yellow flags in sector 3. Best Bob and Cherry 2 Pie squabbling and trading places. Cherry 2 Pie has dropped back a little bit from Best Bob, so it looks like a mistake from Cherry 2 Pie. Further down, Eagle Killer he's got to defend here from the Force India of Onyx. He's slipstreaming. He's moved defensively. Eagle Killer looks like momentum will be on the side of the Force India. Contact between the two of them. Deagle Killer maybe just forcing him off the track there, but great driving from Onyx. He's held the position. He's got past the Red Bull of Deagle Killer, and he is not giving in easy. And Deagle Killer will be furious at the moment. 4 seconds now behind X-Rip. They're going to continue to go side by side through turn 3. A great bit of side by side action. Who's going to merge on top? It's the Force India, but there is a train of cars starting to form further behind them. The great little side by side action through Curva Grande as they come through the two Lesmos now, heading down into Ascari. Will Deagle Killer be able to get a run? This squabbling low is doing the front two an absolute favour here. They'll be over the moon. They'll be giving them some gift baskets over to the Force India guys as things currently stand. Great battle, and Onyx is doing himself very much proud, but it could be a very difficult run if Deagle Killer can get past him into turn 1 to stick with him and then have a run maybe down to Ascari. It's going to be tough if Deagle Killer has the cornering, which he seems to have on Onyx compared to straight line speed. If Deagle Killer was smart, he's just going to take this one nice and smooth back out and then go for him again later on. Is he going to break early? No, he's got past him. I'll keep an eye on Onyx, but I get the distinct impression that Onyx could well be having a run on him as they head down into turn 1. It already looks like Onyx is close enough. Ollie Flavel has left the session. Let's see where Onyx goes. He's taken that left hand side of the track. Deagle Killer trying to squeeze him, but look at the Killer has to keep a close eye on Clarky further behind, who could have almost gone for a manoeuvre there. He's got his teammate, Apex, right on his tail as well. Deagle Killer getting a little bit wavy out of turn 2 there, and it's all getting very tight here. 4.6 seconds between the two of them. This track always throws in some great side-by-side action. Onyx defending valiantly as things currently stand. Deagle Killer, if I was him, I'd play it tactical. I'd just let him overtake him and then get him into turn 1 and just like let him have his moment. But with cars so close behind him, maybe you can't do that. Maybe you've got to be a tactical genius here and you've got to just try and take the opportunity. Or could it be a case of going for the undercut nice and early? I'm not too sure about the pit stops times and the stages when they come into their own, but you can just see that Onyx is starting to pull away a little bit, and then Deagle Killer ramping him in just on that straight line speed. It's so overpowered round here. Later on the brakes, he's going to have to think better of it. If I was him, I'd just try and cruise up to the rear end of Onyx here and try and overtake him down into turn 1. That's where your best bet is, especially if you can get swarmed up by a couple of cars. Let's see what he does. It looks like if you look, he's not fully revving at the moment. He's just lifted off, and this would be a very good opportunity. Taking the final corner, just first part of that perfectly. DRS and slipstreams available. Tim Palm's coming to the pit, so that's the first of the pit stops now. Onyx, you have to defend here, but Deagle Killer hasn't had the greatest of runs, but he's getting closer and closer. He pulls over to the side. Is Clarky going to try and take advantage? Round the outside goes Deagle Killer, who's gone off the track. Deagle Killer has gone off the track. Is he going to get the place back? Yes, he is. Is he under threat from Clarky? He may well be. Here comes Clarky on his debut to throw a spanner into the works. Can Deagle Killer defend against him? It's going to be tight, and that mistake could well cost him a place here and a chance at a podium. Who's going to come out on top? Deagle Killer braking a little bit later, just avoiding contact. Great racing between the two of them, and then a little bit of contact. You can't avoid that, and that has dropped Deagle Killer down into P7. Look at Clarky now struggling a little bit with Apex ahead of him. Deagle Killer going to try and take advantage here up the inside. Some great midfield squabbling between the lot of them. Look how close these cars are from the Williams all the way down to the Haas. This is incredibly tight. Clarky going side by side with Apex now. Onyx will be over the moon. He's not involved in this. There goes Apex. He's past Clarky. Cliffy up the inside of Deagle Killer. Who's going to come out on top of these two? It looks to be Cliffy, and it is. Look how wide Deagle's gone. Deagle has a problem, it seems. Deagle has lost control of the car, and he's now been overtaken by his championship rival, the H-Eagle. So Deagle has now dropped back into P9, and it could well be time for him to come into the pits. Anyone going to come into the pits now? Here goes the Williams, Dan Daniel and Cliffy trying to hunt down, it's Clarky and Cliffy, the Williams, Sauber and Renault, all so tight. Here comes Cliffy hunting them down. Look at the triple toe he's going to be getting. Is he going to slot into the inside? He cannot. There's no room, but he's looking feisty, Cliffy, here as the Williams goes around the outside and gets past the Sauber, and it's all very tight at the moment. Pit stops are now starting to commence. You've got Dan Daniel, Nico both coming to the pits. Best Bob and Cherry 2 Pie have been promoted because of Pit Matt is trying to hunt down Casper in the Toro Rosso. As things currently stand, the H-Eagle has Deagle Killer all over his rear end with his midfield squabble. Doesn't look to be giving up any time soon. haven't looked at Expert and Epic Gamer in a long time. They're still very, very close. We'll keep a close eye on them later on. But Eagle Killer is hunting down Eagle, which is the lowest he needs to do is to beat his championship rival here to extend his championship lead. Let's see what he's able to do, hunting him down. DRS will be available for him as he's got it open currently, revving up to 8th gear. He's full maximum power here. Let's see what he can do. Is he going to be able to just get a good enough run through Ascari to have a run of the H-Eagle, who will also have DRS as well? Cliffy's gone quite wide there. Clarkey looks to have pulled out a little bit, but look at Onyx, 1.7 seconds. He'll be in dreamland as things currently stand. Anybody coming into the pits, Expert and Epic Gamer, have not come into the pits. Is Expert gaining down the start-finish straight? Will is keeping Lucas very, very keen as things currently stand here at Monza. Lap 8 of 27. It's absolutely flown by, and it looks like we could have some great racing still to continue between this lot here at Monza's iconic circuit, with some great overtaking opportunities available for these drivers. We'll move back to the midfield squabble. Eagle Killer and the H-Eagle have traded places. Cliffy and Apex are still battling as well. This is giving Clarkey a little bit of a respite, and Apex is starting to hold up a little bit of a train, and he'll be doing the few guys ahead of him a bit of a favour as things currently stand. Who's going to come out on top? It's tight to say. Eagle Killer's going to come out on top in this little battle as he gets up the inside of Cliffy, and he's starting to make his way back through the field, showing he has the raw pace. The H-Eagle has taken advantage of that and got past Cliffy as well, so the hunter has become the hunted in that sense. Now it's a sight that he'll want to see very, very rapidly go away from him, the Eagle Killer, and that is Apex's Sauber. He'll try and get him as soon as possible. And he's coming down into Ascari now. Maximum exit here, and he can get onto the back. You can see Clarkey and Apex, the gap is 1 second, so no DRS available for Apex if they get down the start finish straight. He'll be hoping to get it done nice and early. If Apex has any DRS, it could be a valiant way for him to defend. But you can see, look, H-Eagle and Cliffy are very tight behind as well. Let's see if there's any manoeuvre there. No, there is not. We'll ride third person with Apex as he might get a view as well of the battles going on further behind him. Onyx is 7.2 seconds. Epsrick, we've got to keep a close eye on as well. Hunting down Lucas for this victory here. We'll quickly hunt onto these two and see if Expert can get a run. I don't think he's even before himself back P5 through the field after an earlier incident that didn't go off. Look at the lovely panning camera angle in this squabble, doing every manoeuvre. No, he does not. He just backs out of it and lets Deagle go. And from Apex, Apex has gone into a wall. We saw that. We saw him lose on the gravel, and Apex could well be out of this Grand Prix. He's going to rejoin in P10. Cherry Tupai will be quite close behind him. There he is. So Cherry Tupai will have a friend to play with at the back of the grid now. And the H-Eagle has got Cliffy pretty close to him, but the Eagle Killer, his next target is Clarkey as he tries to make his way through, and once he gets past Clarkey, it'll be the old foe Onyx in the Force India. The Eagle Killer has made his way through the field nice and maturely so far, but we'll keep an eye now on this battle between Expert and Epic Gamer. I'm not sure who's going to come out on top. They're both coming to the pits. A late decision from Epic Gamer to come into the pits, and they're both in now. Let's keep an eye on who's going to come out on top. I believe Expert is going to have the nearer pit stop, pit box, so he might just have a little bit of an advantage here. There is a minor gap. Let's see what it goes. Soft compound tyres. Is Expert going to get the run here? There goes Epic Gamer. Is Epic Gamer going to be? No, Expert's got the jump on him. Expert has got the jump on Epic Gamer there, and that is a... Oh no, it's not. Oh, it's lag. Oh well, that's a little bit annoying. So it was a little bit of a jump lag, and Expert has not got past Epic Gamer, so he's going to have to do it on track. If he's not too careful. Pitmate is just a little bit up the road, but that's going to come in handy a little bit for Epic Gamer. He's got out ahead of his rival on track. It's getting a little bit grey and overcast here this afternoon. Now Deagle Killer has been promoted up into the lead after a string of pit stops. He's ahead of the H-Eagle, who has got Cliffy all over his rear end at the moment. Casper and Pitman pretty close to each other with Epic Gamer, hunting down Pitmat. Expert is 7/10 of a second, so all that time he gained has now kind of been lost, but he's still within that 1 second bracket. Deagle Killer, Dan Daniel and Tim hunting down the reserve driver in the Mercedes of Best Bob. He's going to be hunted like a poor gazelle. Like the VP Daniel again. Mercedes, he gets past before the he's hunting down the Mercedes from into a wall. Ben is pushed into the wall there by Tim Palm. And I'm not too sure who that was. It looked like Tim Palm. They will just push baseball into the wall. And that, if that's not deep-sync, that is some dirty driving from Tim Palm. And that might well have to be looked at the stewards. From where we were, it looked like the third-person camera. It looked like he was pushed into the wall. No money in there from this session by no fault of his own, really. Tim Palm now can hunt down Damn Daniel, but that is misery for the Mercedes driver. Right, back on top now with the Eagle and Cliffy. They're battling for a provisional lead. The Eagle Killer come into the pits, and as kind of all of his hard work has been a little bit dropped down as Nico was ahead of him. So too is Clarkey and Onyx. He's didn't get past Clarkey on track, of course, but he is mildly hunting him down. Cliffy all over the rear end of the H-Eagle. I'm not too sure who's going to come into the pits just yet. I think they're going to stay out all the top four who are on an older set of tyres. Here comes Cliffy in the Renault. Not the only Renault that's trying to hunt down a car in predominantly white. Here goes the Renault driver nicely on the brakes. A little bit of a front lock-up, and he's got past as Ollie Flavel's disconnected car could well cause a bit of a hazard for the drivers trying to overtake him shortly. Epic Gamer is onto the rear end of pit now, which is going to hinder Expert's attempt as he's got the DRS potentially available to him. I can't imagine pit Matt's going to cause too much of a problem, but the Tifosi will want to see their Ferrari man battle it out. He might not be a homegrown Italian prospect, but when you drive that prancing horse, the red colours doesn't really mean much else to these fans as long as you're wearing that badge with pride. Pit Matt's gone very wide though, and he looks like he's starting to struggle on their medium compound tyres. He's going to let Lucas go through, and Expert, I can't imagine, is going to be too far behind. I don't think there's much Pit Matt can do to defend against them at this rate. Look at the exit Expert has got compared. DRS will be available for Pit Matt. He's going to maybe cause a bit of a problem. He's going to move over to the right hand side of the track and make Expert go the long way round. He's gone by, and Expert's still gaining onto Epic Gamer. Pit Matt though was forced off wide because of that little squabble. He's missed his braking zone, and then medium tyres are really not feeling comfortable for the Ferrari man as a little bit of heartbreak there. He was in fourth for one stage. What that has done though is created a 1 second gap between the Renault and the Haas driver, which could come in quite handy for the cockpit cam running Haas driver of Epic Gamer. And there's the Renault, almost lost it through Parabolica, and that would have been heartbreak. It's now 1.5 seconds to the car ahead of him, and that could well have been a dangerous battle as for some reason he's decided not to whip out his DRS. For some reason his DRS there, which is a little bit have used it if I was him. We'll keep an eye now on Tim Palm and Dan Daniel, who have been battling it out quite frequently, stuck behind each other even with a couple of slow moving cars and Best Bob in the way. They are getting close to the rear end of Cherry 2Pie, who is also himself quite close to the rear end of Pit Matt in that Ferrari, so he's got himself something to do now. He's got a bit of a battle. Pit Matt cutting the corner there and then getting onto the gravel, so he's really struggling as things stand. I think we'll keep a close eye on Cherry 2Pie versus Pit Matt at the moment, because it looks like Matt is the one who's going backwards quickly compared to everyone else. The pad runner in the Ferrari car is not having a pleasant afternoon and evening at the moment. Blue flags are out as there is cars much quicker ahead of them going by, so it's just to let people know who are being lapped that they're on their way. Oh no, blue flags were, blue flags with the Force India of Ollie Flavel. Here comes Cherry 2Pie. He's hunting them down, but look at the gap between Dan Daniel and Cherry 2Pie. That's getting relatively close as well. So if Pit Matt defends for long enough, he could have a few cars on his rear end, and that may actually play into the favour of Cherry 2Pie. He's gone wide here, maybe giving himself a bit more of a cleaner exit. Coming now down into the start-finish straight. Who's going to come out on top? Not too sure. It's going to be a close one. Toro Rosso versus Ferrari. It's not a battle you see very often. He's hunting him down. Cannot get close enough. Is Tim Palm able to get onto the rear end of Daniel? VP versus VP. At the moment, it's getting very, very tight, and they've been simply sick of the sight of each other. The top three all yet to pit, with 6th and 7th place man Pitmat and Cherry Tupai also not coming into the pits. We're at the halfway mark, lap 14 of 27. Dan Daniel and Tim Palm are all over the rear end of these two, and Cherry Tupai, who's been trying to get past the Ferrari man, is probably going to find himself the hunted at the moment. He's gone a little bit wide, and he's now made a mistake, which is going to give Dan Daniel and Tim Palm every inkling to try and get past the Toro Rosso here. Slipstream and DRS, a four-way squabble. We'll keep a close eye on who's going to come out on top. Look out, all of them are. Here comes Dan Daniel, Cherry Tupai and Pitmat. Is he able to get it done? Pitmat's gone wide and let him through, but Cherry Tupai has gone off the track, which is now going to allow Dan Daniel a lovely manoeuvre, and Pitmat's taken out Tim Palm, and they're all so tight here. Here comes Onyx as well. Dan Daniel gets past, a lovely little manoeuvre to get past the two of them. Pitmat's back up past Dan Daniel. He's slipstreaming. Cherry Tupai is so close to running into the rear end. Sorry, that was Tim Palm. Cherry Tupai has dropped back dramatically. Here comes Onyx as well, getting involved in this battle. No one's coming to the pitch. It's a train of 5 cars, incredibly tight to each other, all different constructors as well. Cherry Tupai's at the back of this pack. Dan Daniel is having to defend. Pitmat further up, looking for a manoeuvre, even though he shouldn't be involved in this. He's getting himself involved. A lovely little squabble here. Pitmat on the inside of the Haas driver. Can he get it done? Very unlikely, but these medians have come alive again for the Ferrari driver. The Tifosi Roar has opened it up for him, and it's a beautiful bit of battling between these guys. Tim Palm's got past. Can Tim Palm now take advantage to get past Dan Daniel? No, he does not. But second time running, Tim Palm involved in a battle, and poor Cherry Tupai, who got past Pitmat at one stage after outbraking himself very late to try and get a last-ditch manoeuvre done, now finds himself in a torrid place, and that's straight behind Pitmat and losing places. Pitmat now doing a great job to defend, keeping it clean there. Cherry Tupai very lucky to not cause a crash with that late braking manoeuvre, which could have caused an all-out argument, an all-out row in the steward's inquiry afterwards. Onyx is getting close though onto the rear end of these guys. He's keeping it nice and clean and smooth as things currently stand. H-Eagle is still within 1 second of Cliffy further up the field, as Cliffy in at last. Epic Gamer has got a bit of a gap between himself and X now, so things are looking smooth and safe. We'll keep a closer eye on Tupai and Pitmat, I reckon. I'm not too sure. In fact, Tim Palm is closest of these guys as things currently stand. Into the pits comes Cliffy. He's going to find himself a little bit far back. Deagle Killer sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix in P12. Tim Palm is very keen to get past Dan Daniel, and that he has done. And there goes Dan Daniel going off. Cherry Tupai can't take advantage of it here, and it looks like there could be a potential chance of rain. It's getting a bit overcast here. A mistake from Cherry Tupai could well have cost him a chance of getting past Dan Daniel there. Pitmat doing a very good job considering the age of his tyres. I think Dan Daniel could be finding his tyres are starting to fall off a little bit, but Tim Palm has finally got past, almost losing control of the car though, out the exit of Lesmo number 1, and that could have been night for the Tim Palm there, and that would have been a great end to his Grand Prix. Some great squabbling from him, a few incidents that may get taken to the stewards. We'll have to wait and see. Dan Daniel got back past Pitmat. No real surprise there. Cherry Tupai very late on the brakes. Anyone would think he was running ABS with how late he's leaving these braking marks at the moment, but he is running a no assist. A very quick reaction to slow that car down, but dangerous nonetheless. You want to be braking much earlier than that, and all it's doing is hindering himself, but he'll get a double, potentially triple toe. But you've got Onyx and Clarkey behind him as well, getting involved in this lovely midfield squabble. Pitmat is going to be getting that DRS and slipstream from Dan Daniel, but Cherry Tupai will be trying to get past him before the Armada behind him starts to form. Clarkey getting past Onyx. It's going to be a braking zone brawl between these two. Williams versus Force India. Who's coming out on top later on the brakes? To Force India. The switchback from Clarkey. Can he hook it around the outside? Onyx is defending bravely, but looks like the Williams of Clarkey has got to go once again for a manoeuvre. Pitmat and Tupai continue their squabble as they head down Curva Grande. Who's coming out on top further behind Onyx and Clarkey? Still very tight. Epic Gamer has got onto the rear end of the H-Eagle, and this is for the race victory, and this is an important moment here for potentially his championship push. He's got past the H-Eagle before the braking zone. He's 2.6 seconds ahead of Expert now, who's in a net P2, and Epic Gamer might find himself on back-to-back race victories this afternoon, matching Deagle Killer's 2019 record of back-to-back Grand Prix in the opening 2 rounds at Germany and Hungary. I believe it was Germany and Hungary, I believe it was. And if you look out your windows, and if you look there on the front of the H-Eagle's car, there are spots of rain starting to form on the track. Lap 18 of 27, Deagle Killer has got past Clarkey, but we are starting to see the first droplets of rain. Cherry 2 Pie, Pit Matt and Eagle all having an absolute masterclass at the moment. So too is the man in P4 of Casper. We're going 3 abreast here. Onyx, Deagle Killer and Clarkey all getting their elbows out. They're going to try and take advantage of the Pit Matt and Cherry 2 Pie train. Cherry 2 Pie has got past Pit Matt, and these two are going to start to form a little bit of a train for Cherry 2 Pie. A little bit of a kick in the teeth could be the fact that if Casper pits, he could get held up, which won't be ideal from him, but the rain is starting to form. We'll keep a close eye on the bottom left end of our screen to see when DRS is disabled, because that is the perfect inclination of when to come in for a set of the intermediate tyres. But the Epic Gamer is in a great position here. The H-Eagle could be gaining some significant points in the championship also if the rain comes now and he can keep them tyres going. They're 17 laps old at the moment. They do need to last a little bit longer. It's going to be a tight one. It's going to be close. I do have a little bit of faith, though, in the H-Eagle to get them tyres to the end of the Grand Prix. Epic Gamer is on for a good victory, though, even with the rain coming down late on here. Pit Matt is not being hunted down by Onyx at the moment because he's being hunted down by Cliffy and Deagle Killer. There's a big old train of cars coming down. They're going to go 3 abreast potentially into Parabolica. Squeezed out. The H-Eagle he's held it in, though. Cliffy, a beautiful manoeuvre from him. Outside, he's got past. There goes Clarkey, and into the pits comes on it. And here's he and a skip for a Chocky Biscuit for them intermediate tyres. We'll keep a close eye on him. Deagle Killer squabbling away though with Cliffy. Can he get the manoeuvre done? Up the inside, thinks about it, goes ahead, slots himself in behind. It's tight between this lot though. Intermediate tyres now for the H-Eagle and Onyx. We'll keep an eye on what their times are. Cliffy has made contact with Deagle Killer on his rear end, and there goes Deagle, and Deagle Killer's out of the Grand Prix. The championship leader is out of the Italian Grand Prix. Contact with the rear wheel of Cliffy. He's spun into the wall, and he's taken Clarkey out with him. You can see the wreckage there of the Red Bull and the Mercedes driver, and that is not ideal, but there are huge cheers if you're a H-Eagle fan, because he is now going to be gaining points in the championship, and 25 points in the championship could well be swinging towards the Prix of Epic. An absolutely performance. Puffy race finds himself out of this Grand Prix. All eyes are firmly on the H-Eagles Intermediates tyres now, because a lot of these guys are going to be shuffling into the pits. Let's see what they're able to do. Epic Gamer is not pitting because he's gone past. Casper has come into the pits. Late drama. Is Damn Daniel going to come into the pits? Is Tim Palm? They're coming in, and this could be some more drama here. The virtual safety car has come out at the worst possible time for Exprit and Epic Gamer. Casper could be on for one of the most iconic race performances in his career. Cliffy stayed out. He's decided against it. Nico is ahead of him, but Casper is the highest running intermediate driver here, and he could be on for a great race. The H-Eagle has come out just in behind him, but Casper, who started outside the top 10, in fact, let's keep an eye on where he started. He started 7 places back, and he could well be on for a race victory. He started in P12, and Casper is now in 5th, and the highest running intermediate driver. Will keep an eye on all the times these guys are able to set and what the tyres are looking like. The virtual safety car has come in, but Deagle Killer is out of the Grand Prix. Disaster struck there for the Flying Dutchman, but it's all eyes on everybody else now, what they're able to do. Look at the amount of drivers who are on the intermediate tyres. It looks like Epic Gamer and Cliffy and Exprit look like they may just have kept it clean. Look at Exprit there. They're all struggling. We'll keep an eye though on Casper. It looks like he might be able to get it done, Epic Gamer. And Onyx has retired. Further down, Ollie Flavel's DNF car, and Onyx is out now as they are really struggling on these intermediate style conditions. Cliffy will be able to get into the pit, so too will Nico. DRS is now disabled, so it is now intermediate conditions, but I think Casper's a little bit too far back. He is so Casper is unable to get out ahead. Epic Gamer leads the Grand Prix from Exprit. Casper will be in third. He could be very close to Exprit. In fact, he's going to be side by side. In fact, he's going to be past the Renault driver, and the Renault, who has been in second place consistently this entire Grand Prix, is shunted down into P2 as Casper in the Toro Rosso is now gained 10 places in this Grand Prix, up into P2. A definite driver of the day contender there. He's had an absolute masterclass, and the likes of the H-Eagle, who went long on his tyres in 4th place, will be having a dream at the moment. Yellow flags in the final sector as Toro Rosso starting to pile up a little bit. You can see Nico and Pitmat and Cherry Tupai. Let's see how these guys deal with these intermediate conditions. We'll keep an eye on them. I think it could well be a tough ask to get them guys who looked a little bit shaky at parts of this Grand Prix to the very end there. Cherry Tupai with a 3-second penalty. Look how difficult he's finding it. Here comes Pitmat. There's a Fosi roar as he gets past the Toro Rosso. There goes the Ferrari side by side up the inside, and the Tifosi have a huge celebration up into P7. Next up now is Tim Palm. He's back past Cherry Tupai and he's up there, but he has got Clarkey, who is hunting him down further down the grid, but Cherry Tupai is not giving up. Pitmat defending. It's going to be a valiant one. Cherry Tupai has not been great on his brakes. Let's see where he brakes now. Is it going to be a late braking manoeuvre? It looks to be good enough. He's just about held it in there, and the Tifosi sink into their seats as it's P8 for Pitmat. And Cherry Tupai's got back past him. Yellow flags are out in sector 2. Not too sure who that is for. Expert is chasing down Casper. He knows he's probably quicker than him on raw pace, and Casper's got to do everything he can to keep that Renault at bay if he wants to hold on for a podium position. Dan Daniel and Tim Palm. Well, Dan Daniel's back ahead of Tim Palm, and Tim Palm will not be pleased to see that. He pitted around about the same sort of time as Dan Daniel, but Dan Daniel got the jump in the pit stop. The H-Eagle's early pit stop has done him a huge favour. Onyx, actually no, it wasn't Onyx. Someone else pitted on the same lap as the H-Eagle, but DNF. Cherry Tupai have another time penalty. I think Cherry Tupai in fact has gone wide at turn 1, which is why his time penalties come out. Here goes Nico onto Pitmat. The intermediate conditions throwing the spray in the air. Cliffy with a time penalty. Also Pitmat holds on to it in P7. The Tifosi will be pleased to see this. Cliffy has DNF'd. We'll keep an eye on where that was. It's a little bit of away from Apex, who's going to be promoted into the points, but this midfield squabble is keeping us nice and keen. Pitmat in the Tifosi supporting Ferrari car has got Nico and Cherry Tupai all over his rear end, so he's going to be the lowest of 9th place for these guys with the DNFs that have happened today. Here comes Nico in the Williams. It's a shame really, because Clark and Dingle Killer was showing such good pace. Cherry Tupai looking behind, but Nico gets the place on Pitmat. He looks to be a little bit shaky there, Nico. He's held onto the car. It's going to hinder his exit, and Pitmat looks to be flying out of the exit of Ascari. Cherry Tupai hasn't taken it too cleanly. Here comes Nico heading into Parabolica. Let's see what they're able to do. Just uphill, you'll see that slight acceleration. It's now going to be corrected with a little twinge to the left-hand side as you now ramp it up into 7th gear. Slipstream will be available. No DRS, of course, because of these intermediate conditions. Let's see if Pitmat can get a good run on the Williams of Nico. He's got the slipstream. He's got the place potentially on ropes here. Has he got it on strings? Is the Williams going to get slowed down in time? Both of them very late on the brakes, and Cherry Tupai trying to take advantage for the first time ever. He was early on the brakes. He could have got the manoeuvre on Pitmat there, but was unable to get it done, and that is him staying in P9. Pitmat couldn't get the run on Nico, but they're all very, very tight. The wet weather tyres for Apex, who's pitted. Pitmat later on the brakes on Nico potentially is unable to get it done, and Apex is the man who has spun and caused them yellow flags on them wet weather tyres, and he's retired. I'm not sure if he's made that percentage to get into the Grand Prix. Nico's run very wide there and allowed Pitmat to have a run up the inside, which is going to squeeze Nico a little bit wide, but he's done very, very well to keep that clean and hold in there and not end up in the gravel. Cherry Tupai will not have slipstream, which could hinder him. He's going to be on the cleaner set of the track, but round the outside it's going to turn to the curbing. He's probably going to go a little bit wide here. He's held it, and Cherry Tupai's got the place down, but Nico will be coming at him out of the exit of Ascari. Here comes Cherry Tupai onto the rear end of the Ferrari. Further up the grid, Expert is still yet to get past the car he's been chasing. There's Apex's slow moving Sauber. Both guys move out the way. Here comes Cherry Tupai. He's later on the brakes, and that might be a good manoeuvre
but if a good run from Pitmat and Nico comes in, he could be finding himself very much under threat as they head into turns 1 and 2. The chicane, here comes Pitmat, he's flying, he's hugging that slipstream, and Nico behind him is not afraid to get involved as well. Could we have a free abreast situation here? Nico's going to squeeze it potentially. Pitmat around the outside. Cherry Tupai defends the inside line. A little bit of wheel barging between the two of them. Pitmat forced to take the escape road over the sausage curving, and he's got it. Nicely done. Nico holding onto the car there, doing a great job of holding onto it, but he's showing still great pace, even though he had that little snap of oversteer. He's got the pace. He's going to have Pitmat here. Can he get past him? I think he's going to get it done potentially round the outside. No, he's not. Pitmat defends against him, but Cherry Tupai isn't taking advantage and getting past. If Pitmat and Nico get good exits, Cherry Tupai could still well be in danger here. Here comes Cherry Tupai defending through Lesmo number 2. Pitmat is very, very close. It looks like it is getting wetter and wetter, and we could see wet weather tyres very shortly between these two. They're all hunting down and staying nice and tight as things currently stand. Let's keep a close eye on what they're all able to do. I'm not too sure Pitmat's able to get that run just yet. Pitmat has got a 3-second time penalty for cutting Ascari. Nico is starting to hunt down the Tifosi's favourite man, Pitmat. It looks to be a little bit of dry patches starting to form, so the grip will come into them. Look how wide Cherry Tupai and Pitmat both went there. This could play into the hands of Nico if he gets a good enough run out of Parabolica. Slipstream, no DRS as mentioned. It's a train now. Pitmat moves to the side to cover into Cherry Tupai and Slipstream to try and maximise his straight line speed. Cherry Tupai looks like he's just able to defend at the moment, but Pitmat is getting closer and he's not pulling away. Lap 25 of 27. We'll quickly keep an eye here on Expert and Casper. Is there any opportunity for a manoeuvre from the Renault driver? He's 1 second back from the Toro Rosso of Casper as things currently stand, which would probably mean he will be unable to get past him. He's been close but not had any clear-cut runs, and that is the difficulty round a track like Monza. When it is wet, you are unable to get past when it's in these situations. It's a tough place to overtake when it's wet conditions, but Cherry Tupai, I can tell you now, will not be holding on to P7 with the massive penalties he's picked up. It's not been a great afternoon for his penalties. If Pitmat and Nico keep it clean, they'll be overtaking the Toro Rosso driver for certain, but these two are battling technically for P7 as things currently stand with the penalties to Cherry Tupai, which I can guarantee will not be removed by the stewards because of the mass of them. There's way too many for the stewards to even consider looking at it. Lap 26 to 27, Epic Gamer has entered. We'll go on to him on his final lap later on. Sector flags, yellow flags in sector 3, and that is Nico who's lost it out of Ascari. Nico's lost it, and that is P9 for him. Ollie Flavel does not count. He'll get P9. He's made that 90%, and yeah, Ollie Flavel, in fact, I think it's been lapped too many times for that even to be caught up. So P9 for Nico there is cemented because he has made the percentage. Pitmat now versus Cherry Tupai. Cherry Tupai's lowest place he can get is 8th position, and it looks like he's going to get it, but the Tifosi will want to see that Ferrari battling on track and getting past if he can do so. Into turns 1 and 2, the Ferrari is almost pushing the Toro Rosso into the exit of turn 2 as they come through Curva Grande. High speed normally on these conditions, you find yourself drifting almost around this long right-hander. They're holding onto the grip nicely. Cherry Tupai defending bravely as things currently stand. Pitmat hasn't looked too keen on these wet conditions, but there goes a deep move from Cherry Tupai. He's going to cut the corner, and he's cut across Pitmat there, and that's a little bit naughty. Cherry Tupai not defending with the most grace there. You'd have thought he would have rejoined in a safer place, not onto the racing line at high speed. Coming into the braking zone, Cherry Tupai there with a bit of a dangerous manoeuvre. Pitmat may be a little bit annoyed, but Cherry Tupai starting to show signs of irritation to try and get past this Toro Rosso. Lap 27 soon, Epic Gamer will go on to. There he goes, as now the start finish straight. You can tell with these things, Expert is trying to hunt down Casper down into turn 1. Let's keep an eye on him. Is he able to get it done? It looks to be a little bit too far back between these two, so we're going to cut to Pitmat, who's coming down into the final corner now. It's a long right-hander, of course. If he gets a good exit, he could get a run into turns 1 and 2. Let's keep a close eye on what he's able to do. We'll run onto that, and then we'll head back onto Epic Gamer for his final sector of this Grand Prix. Cherry Tupai defending, but he's looking to struggle in these intermediate conditions. Moving over to the right-hand side. Pitmat with a fantastic exit now. This could well be his run. He's slipstreaming. He's getting the run. Never. Can Pitmat get it done round the outside? It will turn to the inside if he gets later on the brakes. He's done so. Cherry Tupai has switched him off there and unable to defend. Unable to get past is the Ferrari of Pitmat, but he'll get that place on penalty merit. We'll now cut over to Epic Gamer. We'll quickly keep an eye on Pitman and Cherry 2Pi one more time. Expert, is there any chance of him getting a manoeuvre heading into Ascari onto Casper? I'm not too sure about penalties with these two, but here comes Expert, but he can't get it done. We've got a ride on board with Epic Gamer though, who has taken pole position. He may well, no, Deagle Killer got fastest lap, but Epic Gamer has been involved in an almighty scrap with Expert for a majority of this Grand Prix, but when the wet weather conditions came, he turned on the dial. He may be running cockpit cam, but he was fully aware of his surroundings this afternoon. It's Epic Gamer who wins back-to-back Grand Prix and wins the Italian Grand Prix. Second place will be driver of the day for sure, Casper, who crosses the line in second, started 12th, finishes second and pulled off a master of strategy. H-Eagle is in P4. He'll be taking some big points off the Eagle Killer after his incident earlier on in the Grand Prix. Tim Palm is in 6th. Cherry 2Pi and Pitmat aren't giving up. Side by side, round the outside goes Pitmat. Surely not. Cherry 2Pi comes back at him. Can he get the momentum though? As they head out, it's going to be a battle across the line. Who's going to come on top? Pitmat gets a good run. Cherry 2Pi is going to cover him across, and it comes out on top as Cherry 2Pi, but it looks like the Ferrari driver will be promoted because of penalties into P7, but a great scrap between them two. A great race all round. The intermediate conditions threw a spanner in the works, but these guys kept it clean, and some great battles with some drama, with picking up a DNF, losing 25 points on Epic Gamer and 12 points on the H-Eagle, who is going to be probably the happiest of the lot as he tries to hunt down. He's now on on plus 100 points. He's now closing down onto the Deagle Killer. It's a long way to go, but a few more results like that and it could be a close championship battle yet to come. Gunther Steiner will be over the moon as the Brit takes the top spot. It's Lucas Blakely who is the winner here of this afternoon. So we'll quickly run you through your classifications here now. Let's have a look. It's Epic Gamer, not a single penalty for him. He finishes first with Casper in second. Expert will be disappointed not to get P2. A great valiant drive from him, but sadly not to be. The H-Eagle in fourth with Dan Daniel and Tim Parr making it a 4-5-6 for the Germans. Pitmat comes across the line in 7th. Two Brits in Pitmat and Cherry 2Pi. Nottingham versus Surrey, 7th and 8th. It's Pitmat who comes out on top after penalties to Cherry 2Pi. Nico is in 9th after crashing out. He'll be disappointed, but with penalties to him as well, he would not have finished anywhere better than that. Ollie Flavel disconnected, will not pick up the points. Apex, Cliffy, Onyx, Deagle Killer, Clarky and Best Bob all were involved in incidents, with the big one coming for Deagle Killer. Well, that is it, guys. Thank you very much for watching this hectic Italian Grand Prix. Keep a close eye on social media for Driver of the Day voting and the Drivers' Championship. We'll keep you updated at official_VRC. We will see you next time as we head to Singapore for the third street circuit of this season. Third official street circuit. We've had Canada and Australia as well, but a race under the lights once again after Bahrain was a huge success. Let's see how things go in Asia. Take care, have a pleasant night, and we will see you next time. Take care, bye bye.